temperature in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
Well, good morning, Jets fans. This is GreenBean, and we are back with a Good Morning Jets episode for Saturday morning. It's funny, whenever I wake up on Saturday, I think to myself these past couple weeks, are people awake? Are they really going to do this thing? Are they really going to show up? But here you are, man, and I'm grateful for that. It's a beautifully brisk Saturday morning here in Virginia. I think we're at 23 degrees, I think it is. You know, when the grass is all crunchy, that's the kind of morning that we're having. I hope you are having a nice, brisk morning as well. I'm happy that you guys are here. I will tell you, you're going to notice some camera bleaching. I got like a bleachy thing going on. I had to bring my computer in to the Apple store. And they took it. They kept it, man, because of the battery issues we were having the other night. I'm not sure if you guys were there or not, but my computer died in the middle of the stream. And because I was using a live streaming platform as opposed to YouTube, I couldn't get back into the platform through my phone. You have to it's a whole thing with this platform. So I couldn't get in because my computer was dead. So the live stream just ran for like another 20 minutes and everybody stayed. You guys just stayed in there and hung out and chit-chatted with each other. Finally, my computer got enough juice so I can get back in and we were able to handle it. But man, oh man, it turns out my computer has a few issues and thankfully I'm still under Apple Care. But now I have this camera that I've never used and it's like, wow, man, bleachy. So we'll get past it. I know we will. Duncan's here. You know, he says, good afternoon. Where are you, Duncan? You got to let us know where you are over there. Vafadu started us off. Good morning, Kevin. It's good to see you, buddy. Clifford's here. Good morning. Yeah, well, look, you know, and thank you for saying that. As you guys may or may not know, the Thursday Thick of It had a guest host this last Thursday, and it's Gunny Gumby. He is New York Jets Situation Report. He did a great job. The response was resoundingly positive for Gunny. He's a really good dude. I got to meet both he and his wife at the New York Jets Coney Island week 1 thing that we do every year. We're going to do it again this year. We meet at Coney Island before the day before the opening day Jets game, and we ride the Cyclone and the whole thing. And wonderful people. But I brought him on to guest host, and everybody loves it. You can find him at New York Jets Situation Report on YouTube. And moving forward, if he does anything with us, his links will be in there and everything. But yeah, thank you for saying that, man. I think he did a great job as well. He gave away a signed Elijah Vera Tucker jersey. Come on. Who doesn't like that guy? Everybody wants to hang out with that guy no matter what. You know what I mean? But on top of it, he actually knows his stuff. So there's that. Robbie Oak's here. Phil Adams is here. Look at these guys. Right, man. So this is good to see you guys. Snowball's in the house. Our buddy Big Green is back. Captain K Techno over there in Ireland hanging out with us. Hulk Smash Your Mom is here. It's not a show without Hulk Smash Your Mom. You know what I mean? So, guys, good morning to a lot of you. I see Jennifer's here and Jeremy's here and Ryan. I see my buddy Harry. Wish Harry some good stuff. I didn't see if you're going to have surgery, Harry. Harry's he's got a rotator cuff issue, and our buddy's in pain, man. We got to send him some positive vibes. We got to talk about that. See what I can do to help out Harry in this rotator cuff period of your life, buddy. It's no fun. I know it's not. So Three Amigos is here. I got to meet Three Amigos and his wonderful family at the first Coney Island thing that we did 2 years ago. Great group of people. It's so fun to get to meet you guys. Sincerely, I think it's wonderful, the things that we do. The community is growing, guys. The first year, I think we had 12, 15 of us for the Coney Island Cyclone. Last year, we had no less than 35, 40 of us that showed up. And then we go and get Brooklyn pizza, and it's such a great day. Thank you all for coming. So here we got this, guys. We got big news. I'm not sure if you know, generally speaking, if you're with me on a Saturday morning, you know, you're that type of Jets fan that that knows. But guys, the New York Jets, after a week of complaining that the players all-pro list did not have Quinnen Williams or Sauce Gardner on it, we got the official Associated Press all-pro list. And let's see here. It turns out that we do, in fact, have some all-pros. Check it out, guys. Quinnen Williams made his first ever first-team all-pro. Sauce Gardner, a rookie, made first-team all-pro. CJ Mosley made second-team all-pro. And I believe DJ Reed is an alternate. So that's technically, I think, third-team all-pro, if you would call it that. So, hey, man, let me just tell you this. CJ Mosley, second team All-Pro. When the smoke settles and everybody looks back, they call that an All-Pro. I just want you to know, it happens all the time. I see it all the time. Jamal Adams is a 3-time All-Pro, not a 2-time first team, 1-time second team. He's a 3-time All-Pro, and that's how that goes. So congratulations to our guys. Now, something you might not know, and we're going to show you right now, is their initial reactions, guys, were caught on tape. So they did the initial call, I guess, from the Associated Press, kind of doing the, I don't know how long they've been doing this because we don't get all pros very often. They might do this every year. I haven't seen it, but they do a call reminiscent of the Hall of Fame when the guy shows up at the house with the box and the gold jacket. A little bit less fanfare than that, but similar. So here we have the initial reaction of both Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner receiving the information that they were both first team all pros. Let's take a look at this here, and we will let's see what we got here. All right, let's take a listen and see how they react. Let me back it up.
It's the Associated Press all pro team, and you are going to be on the first team. You made it.
I love this kid.
My wife know how happy I am. That's dope, bro, for sure. It's a huge thing, bro. That is so crazy. I remember, it's just funny because earlier this year, bro, everybody kept asking me, like, what's my goal? And my wife, I tell my wife my goals every day so she can just keep me accountable and just make sure I do the right thing each and every day. And it was like become a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro. Like that's one of my ultimate goals.
I just want to tell you that you are a Associated Press first team All-Pro corner.
Right. Okay. Appreciate that, man. That's a big deal to me, man. It's a true blessing. You know, I know that was one of my goals back then, even before training camp, man. So, you know, it's something that I prayed for. You know, so I appreciate y'all for making that happen. You know, we get this time like called 40 days after OTAs or mandatory minicamp, like 40 days before training camp. And I just told myself every day, like, Q, you got to work so you be an All-Pro. You got to work so you be a Pro Bowler. So to get this news today is like all the work I put in has paid off, and like I got to continue to do the same thing, continue to work.
There you go. Oh, what is that? Some commercial for some weird game. Okay. You never know what's coming on. You got to jump off quick, man. All of a sudden, you'll see some inappropriate stuff out of nowhere, right? So there you got it, guys. I mean, take a look at our young guys, man. We have some good young building blocks, good people. You know what I mean? You can see it all over Quinnen Williams. I mean, from you know, bless you, thank you. You know what I mean? From the beginning, achoo, bless you, thank you. I mean, the whole kid, dude, the kid, he's such a sweetheart. It's hard not to love him. But on top of that, man, he is a dominant force in the middle of our defense. We saw the difference without Quinn Williams on the field, guys. We saw it. He missed one game this year. The defense was completely different. He's that impactful. The team loves him. I think if there's any justification not to pay this kid, if Joe Douglas finds it, it's a travesty, truly. There should be no justification. You gotta work the deal. You gotta do what you gotta do monetarily, budget wise, but you have to find a way to make him know we love you, we appreciate you, and we want more of what you bring to the table. We don't want you to ever wear another jersey that doesn't say New York on it. And New York Jets, you got to be specific. And just incredible. And Sauce Gardner, I don't know if you guys know this. Sauce Gardner, he is the first rookie defensive back to make first team All-Pro since, you're going to like this if you don't already know, 1981, a former New York Jet. Not that he was a New York Jet when this happened, but none other than the great Ronnie Lott was the last time that a rookie defensive back made the first team All-Pro list, guys. This is a big freaking deal. It's a big deal. I see some people, Matt, I'll get right to your comment there, but I see Edward Ziff. He wants to make it known, and I think it's fine. Just putting it on record, Ryan and myself, now he's talking about Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, both wanted Sauce Gardner really bad as a fourth pick, and we did, and we were right. You were right. I can honestly say, not that I didn't love the player. I said it numerous times, love the player. Did not think he should be our pick at number 4. And damn, was I don't want to say wrong, because the guys I wanted are doing well too. But man, let me tell you, dude, I could not be happier. And I'm so glad that the Jets took him specifically, and then paired him with DJ Reed. Guys, look at what we have back there. Unbelievable. Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams. As I said, CJ Mosley was also voted a second team All-Pro. Now, this is going to be interesting, guys. It just so happens that 2 of these 3 are up for contract talks, and they now have some serious justification on their end. It just becomes more expensive. Remember when Rex Ryan's first year, he came over here, and before the season started, he was talking up Revis. He was saying Revis just might be the best cornerback that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. And we're like, okay, man, settle down. It's great to hear and everything. Let's see. Revis was very good. He was solid. We loved our Revis, but he didn't become Darrelle Revis yet. That season, he had the 2009 season, which is arguably the greatest season a cornerback ever had, right? I mean, it was unbelievable what Revis did that year. But Rex talked him up all season long. Then in the very end, when they voted the defensive player of the year, when it wasn't Darrelle Revis, when it was Charles Woodson, it just so happened that the Packers, Charles Woodson was playing on the Packers, and the week before, the Packers defense gave up 7 touchdowns. 7 touchdowns in one game. So Rex went up to the podium and said he was pissed that Darrelle Revis didn't get Rookie of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year. And he said, I'm going to give you guys the number 7. He said, I'm not talking about he said, how did he say? He said, I'm not talking about the number of passing touchdowns our defense gave up all year. I'm talking about the number of touchdowns that the Packers defense gave up in one game. So he was really taking a shot at Charles Woodson. How the hell can he be over Darrelle Revis? And but as we know, Rex was Revis. And then what happened? Right after all that stuff, Revis decided to hold out. And then it was the whole Hard Knocks thing, and we dealt with all that baloney. Remember Rex going to Revis's room up in Cortland saying, come on home, buddy. Revis, you in here, buddy? Remember all the friggin' weird stuff that we had to deal with? But anyway, it's interesting when guys have these types of years and contract years, right? Now, I don't believe Quinnen is one of those guys that he's going to have this great year and then you get the contract and he's going to pull a Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't see that in Quinnen. I just don't. I mean, he's gotten better every single year. Just boop, boop, another tier, another tier, another tier. It was a natural progression to see him get to where he is now. And I don't see him being a player that if you pay him, you're going to regret it. I just don't see it. So Matt O'Leary, our good buddy, checking. He says, Quinnen's reaction was amazing. What a big teddy bear. I just want to give him a hug. Don't you? Don't you? Now, look, I'm going to try to get you guys something else here. Let me see here. Instagram. Let me see. There was another thing out there that got tossed around last night. Let me just see if I can find it here for you guys. But another one, this isn't my computer. I got to do everything weird. I can't do it. I can't find it for you guys. But anyway, Woody Johnson put up a little clip of Quinnen Williams. If you guys go to Instagram and check out Woody Johnson's page, you'll see it. I guess Woody's doing a joke. He just makes a joke. He's with the defensive lineman and he does something weird. And they're all like, nobody really cares except Quinnen is in the background going, like he just he can't contain himself. It's so funny to him. And he's just laughing. It's the best, man. Like his energy is infectious. And again, dude, it would all be for nothing if he wasn't the dominant player on the field. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. I can't take the bleach. Oh, my friend, that's not much better, but we'll try. Anyway, it would all be for nothing if he wasn't an amazing player. But guys, he is. He's everything that you want. And guess what? He's only 25 and he's freshly 25. He's not even 25 for a month yet. So he's going to play almost the entirety of next season as a 25-year-old all-pro. It's the kind of guy that you want around. And I think you have to find a way to pay him. And that's my feelings on it. Again, CJ Mosley, second team. What we do with him is going to be interesting because he's owed $21 million. They did a little restructuring this last year. They did a little restructuring last year to kind of move some of the money around and free up future money. So we don't owe him anything. There's none guaranteed. So the idea that he's going to get $21 million this year, I mean, he has to know he's not going to get that anywhere. So if he doesn't want to be here, he could say, screw you, or either pay me or cut me. He could do that. And that's going to depend on what we do offer him. If we say, hey, man, end your career as a Jet, we'll give you 4 more years, with whatever outs on the back end, but we'll give you, $11 million a year, whatever it is, something like that. And you'll do that. But another team will offer him that. So they might be offering him 13, 14. You got to be careful. You might lose him. It's my thoughts that you can definitely work a deal with CJ Mosley to get him off that $21 million number because there's just no way. And he's not going to get that anywhere else. So another thing that is going on out there. Let's talk about this. Well, let me see if you guys have any comments on Quinnen. Let's see. Phil Adams says, Quinnen Williams and Sauce are ballers through and through. Indeed, man. Indeed. Curly Norman, our defense is all pro and our quarterback is all no. Is oh no. Yeah, man. That's the thing. When you look at it, this, what is it? Wait, hold on. Let me see here. 25% of our defense is all pro and we're watching the play. I know, dude. Well, and that's the thing. Like, guys, when you look at it, when we do talk about a potential offensive coordinator coming here, we talk about a quarterback that we might have to trade for with a no trade clause. Aaron Rodgers has a quasi no trade clause and Derek Carr has a trade clause, whether or not they want to come here. But let me tell you this. When you do look around, you just take a second and you look around. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Elijah Moore. You got Denzel Mims. You got Michael Carter. You got Breece Hall. You got Bam Knight. You got the tight ends. You got Ruckert. You got Conklin. There is so much here. Obviously, we got to fix the offensive line. But then you add to it, literally, one of the best defenses in the NFL, man. You have to think that that's at least going to add to the attraction of a team, because no team wants to know that no matter what they put up, they're going to throw, 35 points a game and the defense can't stop them. Nobody wants that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Well, hey, man, let me tell you this. You can throw your stones, Stud City, that I didn't think Sauce should be the pick at 4. Throw your stones. But let me tell you, my record over the past 10 years, dude, if I was building the team over the past 10 years, we'd have 3 Super Bowls minimum, especially the coaches I would have brought in. Just know it, Stud City. You can take your opportunity to hit me now for this one, but bet your bottom dollar, bro, I would have had us in there, man, all the way to the 7th round. Trust me, man, my guys are studs. If I was running the team, just know it. Just know it. So Jets Forever was another one, Edward Ziff. Jets Forever was a big Sauce guy throughout the entirety of the offseason, man. And that's the thing. It's like when you think Jets Forever is just trolling, and to some degree he is, he's also legit. He knows his stuff, man. He's not always right. Matter of fact, he's only right about 20% of the time, but when he is, it's good stuff, Yeah, Ronnie Lott, man. Remember Ronnie Lott? So we had him for a few years. He was still good with us. Now, MPC has a good comment, and this is interesting. Quinnen Williams, I heard this. I'm not sure if it was confirmed or not, but I did hear it, that Quinnen Williams said that he would take less if the money went to his brother. Isn't that interesting? Now, it all depends on how much they like Quincy. I believe they like him. He's a good player. I just don't know if he's good enough to be your penciled in starter, man. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Sherwood. Yeah, Sherwood's another one. Well, he could fill. He's CJ Mosley's backup. So you have to know. If you're willing to let CJ Mosley go on an all-pro year and everything else, you got to really have faith in Sherwood. Yeah, if we don't have a quarterback in this league, you are done. And we showed it, man. We showed it. No matter which quarterback we threw out there, we couldn't get, only 1 or 2 games, or let's say let's say we had the Pittsburgh game, you can say, right? I think maybe the Green Bay game, maybe. It's all smearing together. The Buffalo game was unspectacular but efficient, and then you had a Mike White game or 2. But outside of that, we got piss poor quarterback play all year. When your defense is holding the other team to 1 touchdown or less consistently, you got to be able to capitalize on that, and we couldn't. So another thing that we're going to talk about, I just want to see if you guys have any Q comments here. Let's see what we got here. No, it's not. Good morning, Twisted. Good morning. Let's see here. Keep it up, GreenBean. Hit that like button, everybody. Thank you, Jack Burke. I forgot to mention that this morning. Tony Alexio. Yeah, man. Thank you, dummy. It's nice to see you here. Three Amigos says, I'm alone on this. No, you're not. You got Jets Forever on your team. Zach with an O-line and running game can win us enough games. No, you have your teammates, Three Amigos. I'm not one of them. Now, I'm hoping that Zach Wilson with a year of development with whoever the hell we bring in is going to be helpful, but I am not there, man. I think if you throw Zach out there this year, it is a huge, huge mistake. So Jay Spector, I've heard this argument before that the defensive ends helped Quinnen Williams. Well, I think sure. He's been alone on the defensive line essentially his whole career. We've had almost nobody. We did have Bryce Huff, a young Bryce Huff, but he wasn't who he was this year yet. Who do we have? We have, guys bouncing around, different guys here, there. We have journeyman types next to him. So when you bring in some competency, whether it's Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Carl Lawson, JFM, Vinny Curry, these guys are good. That's what you want. That's what you want. You know what I mean? That's what you want. Now, do you think Quinnen Williams is not as good as he is If he doesn't have them, I don't think so. I think that Quinnen Williams, you could see it numerous times. He just completely collapsed the interior of the defense. I'm sorry, of the offense, and the quarterback was done. I mean, there are times where he literally manhandled his guy right into the quarterback and sacked him. He didn't need any help. So I think Quinnen Williams, it's good that we have the help on the outside, but I wouldn't say, Jay, not that you necessarily are, but I wouldn't say that it's that made Quinnen's season. I mean, of course it's going to help, of course, but I think Quinnen is just coming into his own, man. Quinnen's just coming into his own, and he has that injury-prone label. Again, that's inaccurate as well. He only missed one game the last 2 years. He had 1 year when he missed 3 games, really. So the last 2 years, he's only missed a game. He's fine. He's fine. Hey, Ryan's in the house. Good morning, Ryan. Everybody's in here. Look at this. This is so nice. This is so nice to see everybody. We got O'Leary. We got Ryan. It's so nice to see these guys in the morning. So here's the other thing, guys. There is a rumor going out right there. As the Jets start their search for a new offensive coordinator, the name Joe Brady is popping up. Now, this is such an interesting name to me. It really is. It's been interesting for the past couple of years. Now, Joe Brady interviewed, if I remember correctly, for the Jets head coaching job. I was desperately hoping that he was not the guy. I mean, I couldn't believe that this guy is getting looks that high this early in his career. Now, what is his claim to fame, Joe Brady? Joe Brady's claim to fame is Joe Burrow at LSU. Joe Burrow had that incredible season, and a lot of people attributed that to Joe Brady. Now, Joe Brady was only the passing game coordinator for LSU. He was only in that position for 1 year. So they had an offensive coordinator that called the plays. Joe Brady did not call the plays. Now, they did say that he was responsible and at least to some degree for working with Joe Burrow. So his impact was definitely a part of it all. But the idea that Joe Brady kind of created, it was the architect of that offense with Joe Burrow, it's kind of inaccurate, even though it might have been positive. So he goes over to Carolina as their offensive coordinator. Everybody's like, oh my God, this is going to be great. He gets fired a year later because the offense was inept. And now we don't know if it's Matt Rule and the way he was running things. They obviously had, they had the quarterback carousel, Teddy Bridgewater. They had Sam Darnold, the whole thing. McCaffrey went down, all that sort of stuff. But he's fired a year later. Now he's the quarterback coach. So he's going from head coaching guy to offensive coordinator to quarterback coach. Now he's being looked at as an offensive coordinator candidate for the New York Jets. And I have to say, I still don't see where that is. I mean, has Josh Allen done something this year that he hasn't done? There's even an argument to say that he's regressed somewhat. Now, I wouldn't say that's Joe Brady's fault or anything, but what has Joe Brady really done? The only positive that I see is that he's at least been an offensive coordinator for a little while. So he has that experience. It wouldn't be his first time doing it. So there's that. But guys, 3 years ago, he was a passing game coordinator for the LSU Tigers. You know what I mean? And now here he is. He scares the shit out of me. Let me say that. In my opinion, he looks like Mike LaFleur with a different face. It's the same kind of situation. Young guy. I don't know how much respect he's going to garner. I just don't know. Joe Brady to me scares me. I don't know. I'll see how you guys feel. I put a poll question up there to see if you guys are okay with another young buck a la Joe Brady. But it's going to be interesting because we now are seeing those rumors. We've seen a few guys. We saw Greg Olson, who I'd like. There was the rumor about Greg Roman floating around, which would obviously lead people to start thinking that Lamar is coming, right? So we'll see about all that. But let me know in the poll and let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking about Joe Brady or any young guy, young hotshot type of guy. Edward Ziff checking in. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says scoring more points would have given us maybe the number one defense this year. Hard to play top defense 40 minutes every game. It's a fantastic point, Ed. And how many times, if you watched the live streams with us, we did every single game. Oh, by the way, I think we're going to do it. We're going to do the Miami Bills game, the Dolphins Bills game live stream. We'll see how that works. We'll do it this week and see, because it's AFC East. So we'll see how that goes. But we said it every single week. The defense is out there all day long. And then if they have a breakdown at the end, it's like it's expected. The fact that they don't some weeks is outside of the norm. We then go, oh, this defense is fake. This defense is getting exposed. It's like we're waiting to pounce on a defense that has done everything right this year. Whether it was the whole first half of the season when we had 7 or 8 straight games with a turnover, we had numerous sacks, great defense. The offense couldn't help them. They would give the offense the ball back, whether it was a 3 and out or whether it was a fumble or a pick or what have you. So many times every single game, and the offense would go up in 3, down in 3, and they were back on the field. Could you imagine if we had, again, a 65% completion percentage quarterback? If we did that, we're talking about 3, 4, 5 less drives that the defense has to be on the field for. Imagine their stats, their numbers, if that was the case. So they need to get some help, man. I'm okay with bringing on some help for the defense. You guys know I've said it. I think free safety is a big one. I think big run stuffing style defensive tackle would be the order of the day up front. But that said, quarterback, man, quarterback, offensive line. And I think this team is way closer than we think it is. I know it doesn't feel like that. All right. So, yeah, man, I think you got a great point there. Let's see what else we have here. So it's Snoopy. Good morning, Snoopy. Whoop. He says Joe Brady was hated by Carolina fans. Yeah, well, that's it. Well, look, the offensive coordinator, you got to take that with a grain of salt, but it's a good point. Offensive coordinator gets a lot of the blame for everything. We just saw it. I mean, we had atrocious quarterback play, and the offensive coordinator took the fall. It's part of it. It's not to say he didn't have a part in it. He did. But again, when you watch the tape, which I do almost every single week, I sit down and I watch every play again. I watch it through the different angles. I look at how the play's design is, how it's working. So many times, guys, the play was there. The offensive line, protect long enough. The guys were open, 2, 3 guys sometimes wide open. Quarterbacks couldn't find them, were scared to throw it, or just couldn't hit them so many times. So it's like, now, is that LaFleur's fault? Well, if you look at quarterback development, yes. Other than that, though, so Joe Brady being hated by the fans, I think a lot of people have to remember that was his first time ever doing it. Again, he was the passing game coordinator for a college team. He gets thrown into the NFL, and he's an offensive coordinator, and then he's not great out of the box, and everybody hates him. You know what I mean? But I get the point. I mean, the point is that he wasn't exactly the out-of-the-box hotshot that everybody thought that he would be. So he scares me, man. He really does. Ryan Rivera, the Joe Brady rumors make no sense. I'm not buying them. Well, I think, guys, let's remember, this is speculation season, right? We know this. 9 out of 10 things that we're going to hear are not real. They're not real. It's just people talking. And they'll say they have a source. You're going to hear anonymous sources. You're going to see sources like we saw last year. An agent said, well, whose agent? The guy's agent? Oh, no, not the guy's agent. Just another agent for WNBA. Like, what? Why does his opinion matter? Like we saw the Woody Johnson thing. A guy that met Woody Johnson says he can't be happy. It's like, well, did you talk to Woody Johnson? Oh, no, I didn't talk to him, but I'm just saying, I know him. He feels like this. So it's crazy, man. Phil says Joe Brady doesn't fit the experienced offensive coordinator thing that we're all looking for. Vafadou says Frank Reich. Frank Reich is an interesting one because obviously he's got the name, right? But what has Frank Reich really done? Well, I mean, I don't know. What has he really done? I got to look back and see what he's done as a quarterback coach, but his offensive coordinator stint with the Eagles obviously led to very, very successful ends. But my people saying, look, Peterson looks really good, man. Peterson is not necessarily all right. He went over to Indianapolis and hasn't been able to put it together, man. I mean, that was what was Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz. They went and got him his guy. They got Nick Foles back. They got two of his guys back. They got Matt Ryan. I mean, they gave him every shot that he could possibly want. Now, you don't know. Maybe Chris Ballard, the general manager over there, was saying, giving him quarterbacks that he didn't want. And maybe Frank Reich was saying, can we just draft a kid that I can develop? And he kept giving him these crusty old vets. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the way it goes. But I doubt it. Jets Forever says Bieniemy and Kingsbury is the only options. They get it. I don't know. I mean, where are you based in what? Based in what, dude? What has Kingsbury done? He was fired at Oklahoma, right? Or whatever he was, Texas, whatever he was. He was fired, got the job as the Carolina head coach, and has been given oodles and oodles and oodles of talent, and was a failure there. I mean, the offense looked better than we have, but I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. Does his team respect him? I don't know. Kingsbury to me, I don't know. I wouldn't hate it, but Bieniemy, dude, I don't know. Bieniemy to me, what does he do? What does Bieniemy do? Nobody knows. And remember, he was going to he got interviewed for the Texans job, and he told him he wanted to be the GM. Guy's nuts. Nuts, I tell you. Rumor is Mike LaFleur is going to join the Rams staff. How interesting. Wouldn't that be interesting? Now give us Greg Olsen then, man. That's my guy. That's the guy I want. He's been around long enough. He's developed quarterbacks. He's had really good offenses in the NFL. He's been there, done it. That's what I want. I want a tried and true old head. That's what I want. Somebody who's not going to get all jammed up. That's what I want. That's what I'm saying. I should coach. Mikey Mouse, what's up, buddy? He says, I think head coaching candidates should see the coaching carousel and be concerned. Skip this quarterback class. Don't sign up for Russell Wilson contract. Become offensive coordinator for the New York Jets and become number one candidate. Should see the coaching carousel and skip this quarterback class. I'm not sure what that means, Maggie Mouse. I got to be honest. I'm having a hard time deciphering that comment. Let's see. Super Leroy. Good morning, Leroy. He says the Jets offensive line is going to be a total powerhouse next year. We might even get Jason Kels from the Eagles. Yeah, maybe. I don't know how much more money we can put into it. It's already expensive. We got to see what happens with Dwayne Brown. Maybe he retires. He's going to have the surgery, I think they said, right? So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, again, how many can that many injuries happen to one unit 2 years in a row? I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Ricky at work says he likes Darrell Bevel. Super Leroy likes Darrell Bevel. Bevel's an interesting one to me. So I don't know. He's one that I'm not. I got to look deeper into actually what he's done specifically. But he's a name that I feel a little bit better about. That Robert Earlo, the Eagles team. That Eagles team had a great offensive staff around Reich too. So I don't know how much he really was just him. The interesting thing, Robert, is that when Reich left and Peterson, had the team without Reich, they didn't do so well for a couple years, right? And the Philly fans, which I am friends with a couple, I have a couple of close friends of mine that are diehard Philly fans. They wanted Peterson gone. They thought that Peterson's a fraud. Frank Reich was the real brains of the operation. That's what they thought. Now, again, who knows? Right? Because I think one of the things I think we get jammed up and caught up with too much is they're going to have ups and downs. It's likely It's more likely that you're going to have an up followed by a down and give them a chance to build it up. Like rather than like, they're up. As soon as they have a down, you fire them and start over. Like Peterson's clearly showed you he can get to the Super Bowl and win it, right? Whatever the staff. So I don't know. I think they should have kept him. But look, the Eagles look good. So there's no, you can't look back now. But anyway, we don't know which side of that Frank Reich is on. We just don't know because you look at his head coach stint. He didn't do too well. But, he's getting interviews for head coaching jobs now. So I don't know how willing he's going to be to take an offensive coordinator job. But, again, I don't know how good he really is. And I also don't know how willing he is to take an offensive coordinator job. Jets Forever saying that 40 to 60 passing attempts a game just isn't going to work for him. He wants more. Eric Craig, Greg Olson is the key. Good morning, Eric. I agree. JD hires him as offensive coordinator, and Greg gets us Carr. Zach would have a legitimate chance behind a decent quarterback coach. That's the thing, man. Like, if we are going to do this Zach Wilson develop thing, like if that's really a part of what we're doing, can we not bring in a young guy who's never done it? I mean, you can say Joe Brady, Joe Burrow. It was one season, man. It was one season, and he didn't have the responsibility of designing and calling the offense. He didn't. He was the passing game coordinator. He worked with the wide receivers predominantly, and then the quarterback, Joe Burrow. So again, he had impact, but he was not in charge. You know how easy it is to kind of, be the guy that doesn't make decisions? That's why a lot of these coordinators, when they get bumped up to head coach, they suck. Because it's a whole thing. It's very easy to look and say, oh, what I would do. But when the decision is actually yours, when there's nobody else, you are the final say, it's a whole different thing, man. Edward Ziff's talking about Mekhi Becton. He's in great shape, lost a ton of weight. Maybe we get lucky, and he's all pro next year. Hey, man, again, I think as long as we don't depend on Mekhi Becton as if, like, he's the guy, you know what I mean? Like, we don't bring anybody else in. That, to me, is a poor decision, bad move. That said, I have faith in Mekhi Becton. I mean, look, it's not his play, dude. It's not. The guy was dominant when he was on the field. Bad part, we haven't seen him in 2 years, so we don't know what the hell he is. But he's losing weight. This year he's chosen to train at the Jets facility. I think that's the way to do it, man. Remember, he was out there with Duke Manyweather. He was in Texas. His girlfriend was about to have their first child. So there was all that stuff. The Jets couldn't keep tabs on him. And that's where all the smoke came from. That's where all the stories came from. Just stay at the facility. Do what the Jets want you to do. Stay in their eye line. You know what I mean? Stay right next to them as much as you can. Obviously, during the offseason, you gotta leave and everything, but stay at the facility every chance you get. Make it to OTAs, voluntaries. You gotta be there. No more of this crap with him. And I think that he's been doing that all this year. He's been working out at the facility, and I think that's the way to do it, man. Make yourself, adhere yourself to the staff. Let them see you every day working, not make it so they have to believe you're working. Then you show up and you look like us, you gained weight. You can't do that. You can't do it. So I think if he stays healthy, dude, it's my opinion, he can be one of the best tackles in the NFL. That's what I saw rookie year. Remember him yelling at Gase? Run behind me. Remember that he was yelling to the sideline? Dude, he was rolling people, man. Rich, look, a lot of people don't talk about this enough. But yeah, the offensive coordinator needs to have facial hair. A long white beard, preferably. But yeah, I think the point is, these young, 20-somethings, early 30s, it's like, I don't know, man. Look, it can happen, right? But again, we have to remember we're the Jets. So the fact that it happens over there, that it happens in San Francisco, it happens in Los Angeles, it doesn't mean that'll happen here. We have a different history, a different set of luck, Murphy's laws that apply here. And we also have the media and the fan. It's different here. We need somebody who's been through this. You can't have somebody that's figuring it out. while they're here. You can't do it. And if Saleh does that, if Saleh and Joe Douglas hire a guy that still has to figure it out like a quarterback coach, I think it's a huge misstep. 7 Levels says, no offensive coordinator wants to roll with Zach Wilson. I see. That's the thing with me. I'm concerned about that. Like, if they say Zach Wilson's our guy, I think that's going to take 80% of the candidates that you like off the table. That's what I think. Now, again, while I thought John Benton did a really, really good job with the injuries on the offensive line this year, I think what he did was amazing work. He was working full time. The fact that they chose to fire LaFleur, if they were going to keep Benton around, I thought that would have been a bad move for an offensive coordinator wanting to come here as well. You kind of have to fall in a certain way. You got guys that already do things like they let the offensive line coach go. Obviously, Miles Austin is gone because of his gambling thing or whatever. So that's a nice hole for the new offensive coordinator to come in and bring in his own staff. So I think that bodes well. In the same breath, though, you cannot say to him, Zach Wilson's our quarterback. You can't do it. I think most guys are going to go, I'm not hitching my cart to that. You want me to develop him? Sure. I'll develop him behind the guy that's starting. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing there. There's no reason to believe that he's going to do it. Does he have a chance? Yes. Do you want to work with him? Yes. Is he talented? Yes. But he can't be the guy that we put out front because I think he's going to turn a lot of people off. Super Leroy, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is going to come here and serve as our quarterback and our secret offensive coordinator. Unfortunately, I'll tell you what, if you brought in an Aaron Rodgers, if that's what they do, they bring in Aaron Rodgers, somehow they figure out the trade and the whole thing, and it makes sense, and you just want to let him call the plays on the field, are you against that? I'm fine with it. Go ahead. Go ahead, dude. Look at the game, feel the game, get in the huddle and say, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to do this. I bet it works. I bet it works. I like it. That's it. That's what I want. That's now my favorite option, Leroy. I like it. I know you said unfortunately, but I like it. There he goes. Offensive coordinator needs to be overweight with bad breath and a mustachio. Maybe. Yeah, this is an interesting one. We talked about this yesterday. Mangold for offensive line coach. Again, our heart says yes, right? Our love of Nick Mangold is unquenchable, right? How much we love him. But whether or not he can be an actual coach, we don't know. I'd like to see them at least have a talk with him, right? Sit down with him. But again, you got to wait till you bring in the offensive coordinator and see what he wants. You should not be hiring the under coaches before you bring in the OC. If they do, it's a mistake. I'd like to see them handle this the right way. That's all I want. Is that too much to ask? That they just do things the right way? Blaze, GreenBean, you want? Yes, Carr's my number one guy. That's who I want. But it's interesting because let me be honest and frank with you guys. One of the reasons that I wanted Carr was that I thought that this offense that we had, everything that was already here, only needed a quarterback that could hit 65% of the passes. Again, I watched the tape. I see how open everybody is all the time, and the quarterback just doesn't find them. Now, Derek Carr moving into a different system, I don't know. I don't know what that system is. I don't know what it's predicated on. I don't know how the plays are going to develop and what the designs look like. But if it's Greg Olsen, they've already worked together to some great success. I mean, that's best case for me would be Greg Olsen comes over and you get a nice quarterback coach under Greg Olsen and you get Derek Carr. That would be my number one. Jerry the Jet checking in. Thank you. Raiders fans saying Olsen and Carr pairing equals disaster. Let them think it. Raiders fans are silly. They look back at it. I have to go ahead and look at the specific numbers again, just so I can have it there. But it was good. The first 2 years together, I think they were great. I think that's how it was. That's the thing. And that's why when you look at fans, like, look, if some fan came over here and they listen to us even now talking about Quinnen, I couldn't believe, I'm still surprised how many Jets fans don't want to pay him. I'm blown away by that. I thought there was going to be none, zero. There are people out there with a few different reasons, but mainly they all revolve around money. Oh, 1 year. Like, I don't know what that is, man. I never in a million years thought that we would hit this. But if another fans, let's say some Seattle fans coming over here, they're curious what we think about Quinnen, and they see that shit. They think, oh, Quinnen must not be as good as we think he is. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, when you do that stuff, you got to take that with a grain of salt as well, talking to the other fans and all that stuff, man. But, yeah, I still can't believe that there are some of you that don't want Quinnen re-signed. I'm telling you, if it's got to be $25 million, you sign them. You keep your guys, dude. But we're totally fine. It's funny, I got into a conversation the other day. 2 days ago, what's they say? Yeah, Thursday. I got into a conversation with somebody who was 100% behind bringing on Bernard Hopkins for $20 million and didn't want to re-sign Quinnen Williams. A 31-year-old Hopkins, D-Hop. What am I saying? DeAndre Hopkins. What did I say? Bernard? Sheesh. Telling you, man, you gotta just give me a little bit of that. You gotta give me some wiggle room to takes a second. So DeAndre Hopkins, who again was my favorite non-Jet receiver just 2 years ago. Love him. But he's 31 years old. He's been injured and suspended and PEDs and all this stuff. He's going to be 32, I think, at some point next year. You're willing to give him $19 million, and you're not willing to give a 25-year-old Quinnen Williams, your own homegrown talent, a contract? I don't know. It doesn't compute to me. Why are we so willing to give guys like external free agents money and we're not willing to keep our own guys? Doesn't make sense. Jets Cub fan 29. Thank you, buddy. He says, out of curiosity, you have any idea how many actual plays are in an NFL playbook? In high school, we had probably 50 plays. It has to be 20 times that. Well, every offensive coordinator or scheme, right? They're all going to be different. Some are simpler. Some are more complex. The word on the street was that Mike LaFleur had 1,000. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what they were saying. 1,000 plays. 1,000. If that's real, like, you want to talk about a kid's head spinning, and don't forget, Mike LaFleur, he admitted this at the beginning of this second season. They gave Zach Wilson the entire book. So even if it's not 1,000, let's say it's 500 or something, they gave him the whole playbook. They didn't kind of give him a tiered system like, all right, listen, we're going to build this. We're going to get you really comfortable with this, and we're going to move on, and we're going to make sure that you have solid foundational pieces to stand on. They didn't do that. They chose to give him the whole kit and caboodle, throw it at him, fail as much as you gotta, but at the end of the day, you'll be an expert at the whole thing. Now, I see there is logic there. I understand that. That's not how I operate. I'm a guy who believes in give you this much, get really good with that, and then from there, we step on it and do the next thing. That's the way I see things. LaFleur gave him the whole playbook. So if there's 1,000 plays, could you imagine? And they just threw it on Zach's desk. Here you go. Then they got to play Bill Belichick. We got no offensive line. He's throwing 4 picks in his home opener. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Nobody's protecting him. He's got 1,000 plays. Mike LaFleur is calling play 844 out of the playbook. You know what I mean? And then there's fans going, you suck. Boo. You see it, dude? Do you see it? Bethpage Chris. So there you go, Jets Cub. I'm not exactly sure, but LaFleur was known, at least rumored, to have quite the extensive list of plays. Bethpage Chris. Good question, Sam. Calabrese should be nowhere around one Jets drive. Well, we'll see. I mean, we don't know. Calabrese, they like him, but I mean, I think LaFleur's gone, Benton's gone, Miles Austin is. Why is Calabrese still here? Right? What is he? What is he? I think they'll give him to the next coach. He shouldn't fire anybody. See if the next offensive coordinator likes some of them. Maybe they come on and they like the guy. Maybe they like the running backs coach and say, that's who I want. So you give him the chance. They're under contract. Just let him stay. Let's see. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay. Sam Aiken, what's up, buddy? He says, why is Calabrese still a Jet? There it is. Yeah, I don't know. Well, again, I think the reason for it is you have coaches under contract. There's no reason to let them go and talk to other teams until you know who you have. Like, so if your offensive coordinator comes in and he goes, oh, no, I want that guy. I would love to have that coach. Let him at least have that opportunity. Let him have that option. You know what I mean? As opposed to letting everybody go and then being, oh, man, you know what? I really wish you didn't let that guy go. I would have loved to bring him on. So that's why. That's why. Oh, you guys are making fun of. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a boxer. That's where he came from. I knew it. Like the name had to come from somewhere, right? Oh man, what are you gonna do? It's early. It's early. Kev Chada wants Jimmy G or Minshew because we don't lose picks. Yeah, again, I have to be careful with my own thoughts here because a lot of it was built, my opinions were built on what I was seeing with this offense. Like this offense would have worked, guys. It would have worked. If we had Minshew, Carr, Jimmy G, if we had a guy that could just give us 65%, this would have worked. Even 60%, it would have worked. We wouldn't be talking like this. I'm telling you, it was that close. That said, we're not. So I have to look at who's really coming, what they can really do. You know, in a new offense, I don't know what the new offense is, so we have to see. All right, let's get a couple more here. Let's see. Steve Young, Jerry the Jet. Steve Young says, in order to coach Zach, you have to hold his hand. Zach doesn't respond well to tough love coaching. Well, now, what do people say about that? Toughen up, right? You're in New York, toughen up. There's that. Like, give me a break, right? Like, what did we got to coddle you? Remember, like Fitzpatrick said that we were coddling him with bringing in John Beck and all that. Maybe. But I'm of the school of thought that you figure out your job as the communicator, the coach, is to identify. You have 60-something guys on your team, including the practice. You have 70 guys, right? Your job is to figure out how these guys learn. How do I reach certain guys? That's your job, in my opinion. Especially in today's society. It's different. It's not what it was 30 years ago, man. You can want it to be, but it's not. Right? We call that old school. Oh, I'm old school. Yeah, well, old school doesn't work, man. Look at guys like Greg Williams, Rex Ryan. They're out of the league, dude. You know why? Because it's not that way anymore. They're dinosaurs. It doesn't work that way. So you got to have guys that can be great communicators, that can figure out how guys learn. How do I reach this guy? As opposed to taking as just an uber talented kid and ruining him because he's not listening to the way I like to teach. To a degree, you don't want to be 50 different personalities in your head, but to a degree, you got to know which guys respond to this and which guys respond to that. Now, that said, there's a limit to it, Jerry. There's a limit. You don't want to be walking around, holding someone's hand and the rest of the team sees that. That's another thing, too. Like, you got to know how to do all this stuff. There are limits. If you're really coddling one guy because he's soft and you love, and then the other guy's like, what the fuck, man? Why do I get treated like this? And then they see that stuff. It has to be equal, while still being different. You see the difference? You see the difficulty? You see it? Arbiv, what's up, man? Good morning. I get the impression Saleh is a major delegator, doesn't get involved much with the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I think that with young team, he needs to be more involved. Yeah, I get that impression too. And I think that's by design, right? We wanted a CEO head coach. That's one of the reasons that Saleh was so attractive, is because that was his plan. That all said, we also have to give him time to learn to what degree he wants to be in. I mean, he's trying not to step on somebody's toes when they're figuring it out. I'm sure he's there to help. I'm sure he's doing it. But like, to what degree? Where is the line? You know what I mean? Where is the line with him? So I think, again, when you hire rookies, dude, you got to give them time. Like that's my opinion. Like this idea that 2 years, they're not good, fire them. Like, I don't know. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked here. Any organization that does that, it doesn't work. The Cleveland Browns did that for 10, 15 years, 2 years out, 3 years out, 2 years, and they were perpetually at the bottom. You look at those teams, the teams that fire consistently are the worst teams in the league, dude. And that's kind of what a lot of Jets fans want. We want to just, if they're not great, immediately fire them. Well, how's that worked for us? So I think you have to understand, at least to some degree, that Saleh is learning on the job. He's trying to figure out, how much do I delegate? Now, maybe with a young guy like LaFleur, maybe he shouldn't have given him that much rope. You know what I mean? And maybe he learned that now. But now he's going to bring in a Greg Olsen and be too micromanaging. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a whole thing we have to kind of weather and figure that out. But I'm with you. I think Saleh is a delegator. And to be honest, I would prefer that, at least to some degree. But when things are going wrong, that's when you want your head coach to step in. And one of my pet peeves with Robert Saleh, man, is his on the sideline demeanor when things are not going well. He looks like he's completely lost to me, just staring into space. That's what I see. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm not staring at him the whole time. I only see when they show him, but he looks like he's disengaged. He's disengaged. Oh, look, I'm getting yelled at. Daniel Marino. GreenBean, stop it. Zach Wilson is not it. You are sounding like you want this kid. Sam showed way more with way less. How did you hear that? How did you hear that I want Zach Wilson with what I said? How? How could you possibly come to that conclusion? How? Because the Jets have said they don't want to give up on him, right? So if we owe him $20 million if you cut him. It's like an extra $14 million, whatever the hell it is. He's more expensive to cut than he is to keep. So if they're going to keep him and develop him, you want to have somebody that can actually do it. Somebody that it can actually have a chance at working. You don't want a $10 million dead weight sitting on your side of your team. But it's funny to me. How did you come to that conclusion? I've been ripping Zach for the past 6 weeks, whatever it is. I'm telling you, I said he needs to get off the field. At least now. You stop it, Daniel Marino. Jumping to conclusions, you crazy bastard. You see it, though? You see it, guys? How the hell? I mean, just because I'm not angrily throwing insults, right? I'm not going to insult them. It's not who I am. I'm not going to call them a POS and all this sort of stuff. If that's what you want, then you're not going to hear it. And maybe that, but I've been very uber critical of Zach Wilson all season. As a matter of fact, I was called a hater around 8 weeks in when I said I was concerned. I got called a hater. Now I'm a Zach Wilson guy. Sam Macon, are there other free agents that could help his team? Well, guys, let me tell you, the GreenBeans Jets pod this week is about our free agents that we need to re-sign. We have like 30 or more. It's crazy, dude. How many guys on our team we have to make hard decisions on? You know what I mean? So I'm sure there are guys out there that can help us, of course, but who's going to be better than what we have? You want to make sure you're trying to upgrade. If you're going to flip, you want to at least have a shot to upgrade here. You know what I mean? That's what you want. Like if you're going to let's say you let CJ Mosley go. you better be upgrading it because he's a Pro Bowler, second team All-Pro right now. Yes, he's going to be expensive, but, you got to make sure that the kid coming in, or if you bring somebody in, or if you're going to elevate Sherwood, that he can give you similar production, man. Because, obviously if you downgrade, it's going to be a problem. Going to be a problem. So I think the Jets have some really hard decisions to make with their own team, and it'll be real interesting to see who they sign, because we're locked into some guys that I wish we weren't, and the guys are free agents in some areas that I wish they weren't. I wish there were guys that could just stay, but that's what when I filmed GreenBean's Jets Pod and put it out on Monday, it's going to be that's going to be largely about that. Our free agent class, a group, is extensive. Let's see. All right, we'll do one more. What do we got here? Ricky at work says Huff is the number one free agent to sign. Yeah. Is he I thought he had one more year. Is he a free agent? He's restricted though, right? I got to look. Anthony, all right. I know I routinely said how much I love when Zach twirls backwards 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, it's so funny, man. I know, right? Snowball. It's just, I guess it's easy just to say it, right? GreenBean, stop it. How could you want Tom Brady? You call yourself a Jeff. It's right. You can say anything. Clearly, I've been pushing for the Jets to sign Tom Brady all year. Oh man. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do one more comment. Let's see. Rudy Havelka. I think that's what it says. Is it Havelka? Rudy Havelka. Yeah. Pay Frank Reich, make him an offer he can't refuse. Then you have to try to get Carr. Love Lamar, but if it didn't happen, Carr would be gone by then. Also, Carr can keep 3 firsts versus Lamar. Well, you don't know what you're going to have to give up for Carr. I mean, they're not going to give him away for chump change. I mean, if they're going to trade, here's the thing. People say, well, just wait. They're going to cut him. Not if other teams are interested. Like, listen, why do you trade for a guy they're going to cut? Why do you do that? What's the logic there? Right? Does anybody know the logic? The logic is because then I got him. And I don't have to deal with, the negotiating against other teams. He's mine. So you go to the team and you say, hey, we're getting offers of 2 firsts. And you go, well, I'll give you 2 firsts and a third. If that's what you want. They go, okay. But if no one's giving them offers, then you got a case. Or you can say to them, hey, we'll give you, if you're getting no offers, I'll give you 1 first. It's going to take something to get Carr. They have a starting quarterback in the NFL, man. Again, 4,000-yard passer, career 65% completion, 2-to-1 touchdowns to interceptions. Like, say what you want, dude. Say what you want. He's a commodity. So they're going to get something. I don't know what it's going to cost. But I hope the Jets go full tilt toward it. I hate losing our firsts. I really do. But a quarterback, you need him, dude. You need the damn quarterback. It's my belief that Carr would be fine here. Again, I don't know who the fucking offensive coordinator is, though. So it's bad. Like, for me, it's hard, I should say, not bad. It's hard to judge, to what if you get a guy and Carr's the worst quarterback for that offense? I mean, there's that, right? I liked Carr for the offense we had. I was like, dude, Derek Carr in this offense, we'd be fighting for the division with our defense and everything else we have. If we had Derek Carr last year, we're playing for the division. We beat the Patriots twice. We beat the Bills the second time. Like, all those 1-score games, dude. Totally different thing. Carr decides. That's right, Kev. He's got the no trade clause. He's going to make a decision, but he's also got to look too. Like, there's only going to be so many teams, but he could say no to everybody. I don't give a shit. I'm not letting you trade. Whatever team I go to, they're going to be my choice, and I'm not going to make them have to give you 2 and 3 firsts. I'd rather go to a team that I want to, and I'd rather they keep their first round picks. See what I mean? He's got a no trade clause, man. They are stuck. Sheridan Hope and Cali, what's up, man? All right, listen, we're going to back out of this one, but New York Jets fan 4 is our final comment. Thank you, buddy. He says, GreenBean, teams won't give up much for Carr. If they ask for too much, everyone will wait till he is released. Then it will come down to who pays him more money. Again, Carr has to agree, but let's say, for example, that they like Tyreek Hill. They have 2 teams that he's okay with going. Everything's good. He's got 2 teams. It's the team that's going to offer them more, right? It's going to the team that's going to be giving the best trade for the Raiders. But I think teams are going to offer, dude. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jets fans, not that you're this super fan or Jets fan for, but the idea, like there's so many Jets fans that don't like this guy. I'm going to tell you right now, in league circles, Derek Carr is a very, very hot commodity. Very hot commodity, dude. Again, 4 head coaches, terrible offensive lines, complete tumult, never a defense better than 20th. Like, he's played in terrible situations. Now, he's had some good weapons sometimes, but even this year, everybody's hurt, you know? So, again, he's a 4,000-yard passer, 65% completion percent, 2-to-1 touch. Dude, he's a commodity. So, teams are going to be willing to give that first-round pick, if not more, to be the only team that doesn't have to negotiate later. New York Jets fan. So I don't know. I think there'll be a limit, but I'm going to be real curious to see. And that's the thing, Steve. Yeah, for me, I find it hard to believe that Carr's not going to want to just get released. Release me or pay me. I don't care. I don't care. All right, guys, listen. That is it for this version of Good Morning Jets. Don't forget, we have all pros, everybody. Be happy about it. This is not every year. It's look, in this disappointing end of the season, we like to focus on all the negatives. There are so many positives that we can hitch our hat to, hang our hat on. We can, if we choose to. 2 of them happen to be Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner getting all pro nods, first team all pro. Remember, Sauce is the first rookie defensive back to do it since Ronnie Lott in 1981. That's saying something, everybody. That's saying something. We have our core building blocks. We're doing well. Lots of good stuff to build on. Everybody, have a great day. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel on your way out if you haven't done so yet. And hitting that like button, it's so easy to do. And it means so much. You can join the Beanbaggers by the link in the description. We got all sorts of fun stuff on deck for this off-season, private stuff that we do outside of the YouTube foray. And also you can join the Stream Beaners. Very easy. Gives you more stuff to interact with the live streams. Guys, I appreciate all of your support. Good morning and have a great rest of your day. This is going to be called a New York Jets Saturday. Let's see what happens. And I'll see you all next time. 2009, they rode the Mangini Express, Rex did, right to the AFC Championship game. Then they built upon that and got to the 2010 Championship game. And then it came. The worst offseason in New York Jets history.